Hello, sexy souls. Pardon while I do a slight readjustment so we can see everything. I'm hoping we get like a good, all right. How's everyone doing? Woohoo! Alrighty then. Okay. So I literally started this when it was super pitch black outside. And I was going, what? Now, I am awake every morning at 5:45, so for me to be like, why is it like this? Seriously, like this is that point where it seems to go faster, like the season change just goes brrr, and you're in a whole new, you know what I mean? It felt nice and genteel at first, and now it's like rapid change. So I do think that is a theme that might emerge during the reading that we're going to do today, but it was so pitch black, and it was like 7:30. And I was waiting, and I was like, okay. So I go out of the room, because I usually have my blinds open and things like that, correct? To let natural light in. I really love to read by natural light. I love to feel connected to the outside. So I'm like, it's so dark. It felt weird. Because normally I'll come on at like at nice and early in the morning and do a reading. It's one of my favorite times actually to do a reading, more so than late at night. Go figure. And so I go out of my bedroom, and I go into the living room, and on one side of the house, I can tell that the sun is coming up, and the blue is starting to become that, you know, a slightly lighter blue. And the backside, it was pitch black. And that stood out to me, right? So like all kinds of things were like informing me this morning. I was feeling very like, oh, this is telling. And by the time I sit down, 15 minutes later, it's totally bright outside. Or I won't say bright, the sun has risen, right? And I'm like, there's a natural light coming through. I'm like, okay. So I want to say, like, I feel like in every way that I was looking at the way that the sun is rising and setting, and, you know, how the daylight or the day hours are changing, it really felt like things were happening fast. I felt like it was really fast when I was like, dang, is it still dark now? I'm thinking, I just swear, like on Monday when I was taking the kids to school, it was nice and bright out, like, you know, or at least the sun was completely risen where you could see, like by 7:05, and here it is now, like just like 5 or 6 days later, and it's kind of like it's still pitch black. It was just the weirdest thing, and it was like a moment where I just realized how rapidly something is changing. So you may be having that this week, because we are going to dive into the week ahead, right? This is the week ahead tarot reading, and so you may have a moment of clarity or a moment of realization of how rapidly something is changing. And then even from that moment forward, you will almost be in observation. Like maybe you weren't paying as close of attention how rapidly something was changing, how something is moving into a different season. And then you just have a moment where you're like, oh shoot, wait, what? And then because you're present and aware, you see it unfolding before your eyes, and it feels even more fast. Don't you love how I talk? Okay. And so just this rapid change, the witnessing of the rapid change, the awareness of the moving into a different season seems to be prominent for somebody. And so that may be your experience, or it was this past week, and Spirit's saying, hey, guess what? And also the idea of like the sun card, you know, like a path being abundantly clear, completely visible, like going from feeling like you're completely in the dark to completely aware, and having a clear path ahead happens very rapidly. So both of those energies, the speed and the change that is occurring, are a theme. And it felt so very surreal, because maybe I'm still stuck in the idea that it's summer. Because I'm like, oh wow. It was the first realization. I was like, yep, we're moving into the other one. And for me, the other one is when I don't have nearly enough sunlight during the I love it when it's light out until like 9:30 at night. I live in an area where that happens. So I miss those. I am a lover of this. As much as I love the moon and have this very mystical, fantastical relationship with it, I need and crave the sun. It helps with them serotonin levels, you know what I'm saying? And so I am a seasonal affective person where like I can all too easily get into feeling stuck, oppressed, or like just whatever, like depressed during the winter, because I need the outdoors and I need the sun. So yeah, again, so there's a theme that we already started with. Before we delve in any further, because we are doing a week ahead, I do want to remind you that you are the sovereign being over your life. Oh, my rings are not on my hand. And that you get to use your own discernment as to if, when, how, where, why any of the messages might apply, okay? So let's say it together with one another. We don't Cinderella this shit to make it fit, all right? All right, let's go ahead and dive. Ooh, why is my, okay. I sit on a pillow because I'm short, and sometimes it like just moves wrong. I'm feeling over here. I am feeling Divine Doors, potentially the Moonology. It's not Moonology. Shit, that's other people's. Moon Magic Oracle deck. Whatever. Mine's slightly different. Let's go ahead and start here. What do you got for us, Spirit? Talk to us about the week ahead. What is that? It's upside down. A distant dream. It drew my attention because it was in the reverse. That might be your idea, or you're feeling as if like something, like a dream is almost too distant or non-existent. It says, the distance caused your heart to roam free. As you dared to dream it, so must it be. So you may have stopped yourself from playing in the field of possibilities, as I call it, or dreaming, imagining, envisioning, wishing and hoping for something. You may have stopped that because that was in reverse and I had to put it upright. It grabbed my attention. La, 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 la. There's also an idea with time shift, because like the way that time feels like it unfolds. First, because part of the idea of why it's so sad that it's still dark at 7:30 in the morning, so pitch black, and you're like, what? Is because I know that we have, in the United States, we have this daylight savings time, where in order to have it daylight earlier in the morning, because that's when the United States wakes up and gets, like, society gets started and everything, we do it super early, is to roll the clocks back. So there's just an awareness of the changing of time. You know what I'm saying? But then also the idea of between like within a 15-minute window. Like that's a very, very short window. Like the stark contrast of feeling like the sun is completely up and everything is lit outside from the like, how is it so pitch black out back behind? It was a drastic change. And so timing is a factor too. So which some may say, well, that's a part of speed. Then I'm like, not necessarily, because it feels like time is morphing, or like there's something with time that is separate from the idea of something happen, like rapid change, right? So we'll get into that. We'll figure out what that is. Because like when I tell you that was the emphasis this morning, I was like, I was supposed to start at like 7:15 and it took me a whole 30 minutes because I was like then inspecting the fact that it was still dark outside. So I was completely distracted by all of that. Do not fear what travel brings, my dear. The movement is yours. Begin now here. A distant kiss in a prayer. Distance again, because the dream felt distant. And then, I wish of all wishes that you were here. Through sunlight and rain, I need you near. The art of life. There's no sacred light in the aura of an invisible life. Be bold in your skin. Let your love dance in sight. Like, this is not shrinking back and hiding. This is not allowing yourself to go through the motions, you know. This is about, again, the change, like the light coming in, the sun card, something coming to light, like maybe you coming to life. Don't fear any kind of movement that happens in your life at this point, because something is calling you in. I wish of all wishes that you were here. So something's being called in. Either you're being called into something or something's being called into you. Destiny is being called in. Okay. One door closes, another opens for you. Let the plans of destiny unravel you. Let's see here. What do we want to, how do we want to, so the Archangel, or the Fallen Angel Oracle, I'll get it out. They're like, not yet. So I feel that. I think we are going to whip out the Moon deck. Okay, come on. It's all going to make sense. Let's just sit in and buckle in for the ride, okay? Let me see where the... Okay, there's that. That's called moon magic, guys. Lord have mercy. So there's this one, Wishmaker, Unicorn Moon. I'm loving this. Waxing Crescent. Woo! Let me get a drink. My throat. Alrighty. Let's dive in, okay? So the Wishmaker card's all about possibilities and the fulfillment of dreams. And it's letting you know that wishes are powerful and dreaming is good for you, which we just set up here. It's like, I know I said that. Like the fear of playing in the field of possibilities. Which card made me say that? It's just shrinking back. Well, that's kind of funny that that came to me. Like, I'm drawing a blank on how I even, like, that definitely channeled through, and I'm like, what spawned that? I'm gonna have to rewind this shit just to go think in terms of possibility rather than limitation. Don't focus on what either you don't want or what you feel like is not possible at this moment. You need to think of what it is that you most want to attract, is what it's telling you, okay? What could be possible, the potentiality of things. It is the ultimate Make-A-Wish card and believing in the possibility, okay? Now I'm all like, that. When I tell you I feel like I time warped, I'm like, what? I said something like that and I can't remember nothing around it that I said or why I said it. Like, it did from my brain. Unicorn. This is all about the hope for your manifestation, okay? It's the calm, quiet magic of the night. It is the enchanted dreams. It's all things that are possible. They're saying everything again. It's all things that are possible if you only believe in them enough. It is believing in magic again. It is allowing magic. It is playing in the field of possibilities instead of cutting yourself off. That might be from the there is no sacred light in the aura of an invisible life. And there was this idea of something, oh, that was the one on the split. That's what it was, like this distant, your dream, a distant dream. That's what it was. Thank you, Spirit. Lord of mercy. I was like, where's the card? Maybe I should be bringing that out because that thing is obviously playing. Okay. Look at that one that's flipped. A distant dream. Distant dream. There we go. Well. The distant calls your heart to roam free as you dare dream it, so must it be. Thank you, Spirit. They are heavily asking you to allow yourself to believe in something and to, like, with that childlike wonder, make this wish. This is, gosh, it's not letting your logical mind talk you out of what is possible, really. It is allowing yourself to believe, point blank. Okay. And then the waxing crescent. Let's move on because I want to make this fast. I don't want to, y'all be sitting here listening like, is she going to say something? Shit. And then this is like serendipitous movement and change. Well, shit fire, y'all. Okay. So this is a card of movement. Your path is being smoothed out before you, and it may start to feel like heaven and earth are being moved in your favor. That's kind of like the idea of like how swiftly, remember I said there's something about rapid change, suddenly being aware that something is changing, and then witnessing how quickly something can change. So again, it still has that energy of something's going to pull you into a space of realizing that things are quickly moving. And there's something about time. Remember, there's something about time. Things will begin to fall in place quite naturally, and you're safe to let this happen. It's time, like they want you to look out for happy coincidences and serendipity, because they tend to occur whenever this card turns up. And that things will be changing for the better. And they acknowledge that any change can be unsettling, but the changes indicated in this reading are positive ones. So make sure that any action you take is a positive action towards your goal and anything that you can do to help maintain your motivation. And just so that you're aware, when I mentioned serotonin, like the sun, it plays a major factor, and vitamin D plays a major factor in your serotonin levels. And serotonin is more about the long-term commitment and motivation to continue something versus where dopamine is more of like the initiation, like what you need to, that helps you to kind of like begin something enough to start a task. But prolonged happiness, prolonged joy, prolonged feelings of desire, that is helped with serotonin. So there's a lot of, already in this reading, a lot of serendipitous things happening. So let's delve in. We're going to pull some, I do feel like we're going to get some more specifics about how this pans out this week with the tarot. We are going to pull the Archangel Fall. Shit, I swear to you, if my mouth and my mind do not freaking connect. Anywho's, the Angel Oracle, Fallen Angel Oracle. Oh, son of a biscuit eater. Yep. So let's just get started and see what this has to do with this week. The events, like this is kind of like, I feel like the energy behind, and they're like what you can do to help everything out as it's happening, as this change is happening, is making sure that you are believing in, and then just taking any type of positive action you can as it may arise. So let's talk about the change. Let's talk about change. Ten of Cups. Dang. Death. Hermit. Ooh. Okay, so obviously with the Ten of Cups, we have like an exchanged joy and contentment here. This is going beyond the self with the Ten of Cups, where it is you have your 9 cups and another cup comes in. There's this exchange. I always say the Ten of Cups is not just being happy with yourself or being content within yourself. It is being happy and content with the people that are around you, with your environment, with your life at large. There's this exchange that's happening, this exchange of energy, right? Death and Hermit, I feel as if they're saying that the ending that's occurring here isn't the Ten of Cups. It's the Hermit. And I think that basically the death is death card is the transformation that's happening. Okay, so something's transforming. The change and I asked that, what's the change? And it is from isolation and hermit mode to connections with others and with new environments that are beneficial and positive. Page of Cups. Wow, these are coming out. Ace of Cups. So something is bringing in. Okay. Again, more to it than meets the eye. Because right here we talk about the Page of Cups in this particular deck is the Princess of the Palace of Floods. So again, you know, like with Rider-Waite, you usually have a cup and a fish popping out. There's something more to it. There's this cup that's being brought in. And the Ace of Cups is depicted as having all of this. It is overflowing. There's an overabundance of something. I heard an overabundance of good emotions. And we got the Three of Pentacles. Definitely work, material work. If you have a business or anything else like that that has been slow or hasn't been working out, that's about to pop off. Because there's this reciprocity where people are enjoying what you offer and you're finding the right people to have that exchange with, right? Like things are going really well and people are enjoying what you're bringing and you're enjoying bringing it to them. And there's this into you kind of winging it, doing it by yourself and trying to figure it out. Like the hermit mode is really about trying to get to the nitty gritty, and it is sticking to how you want to do something and figuring out the best way to be authentic to that, right? And so with the Three of Pentacles, if we're talking about work, if you have like your own business or if you do side gigs or if you do, you know, like freelance type of work, self-employment of some degree, contract work, something that's sans or without, like not the Hierophant, right? Like these are not necessarily employed by an institution. That's where this is coming in. Like you're receiving work, and I feel like it's picking up. Like there is an increase in that. Tell me about the Page of Cups, please. And this may be why there's a bit of a feeling like maybe there has been some feeling like this isn't going to work. Like this dream is too distant, that something is too far for me. And you may be witnessing a rapid change beginning this week in clientele, in visibility of your business, in like contracts and negotiations. Because there's some people that do, like, there's a lot of work where you will have multitude of contracts going on at once. Think of like carriers, people who deliver and do things like that. They may have multiple different companies that they'll work with, and so you may be having all kinds of contracts or business, like just business coming in. A lot of offers maybe. And so like when this idea of something is overflowing, because the cup that the page brings in is very abundant. It has so much to it. It grows exponentially. And it is definitely depicted by the Ace of Cups here, where it's just the level of overflow. Like you may have more coming in than you can handle right at the get-go. Tell me about the Page of Cups. And again, you have felt like you may have like kind of put the brakes on something, or shrunk back and not really like stopped investing as much energy into this, or felt like it was falling by the wayside and things weren't going to happen. And it feels as if like some kind of wish in regards to a business here, in regards to work. You may suddenly, even, let's put this way, while the energy is definitely of one that probably controls their own schedule, and is real dependent on supply and demand, if you are also looking for work, you may be putting in a million applications, and like, you know, it's one of those things where you've put your resume out there so many times, but there's not a lot biting on it. You know what I'm saying? And so you may be suddenly receiving a lot this week, and you can see it in real time as something is changing and shifting. Tell me about the Page of Cups some more. Let's go into that a little bit more. Yeehaw. All right, Two of Wands. This is being able to action something on a desire. This is the ability to make moves. Okay. Temperance. Reconcilers. It's giving the energy of this fixes something. Because with being able to reconcile a situation with the Nine of Wands, like maybe you were really, again, you felt like this wasn't going to happen. You had a hesitancy towards it. You may not have been pouring everything into it like you used to. Or there's just this, this idea of this feeling like it's not going to happen that would loom over you. This idea of be bold in your skin and let things dance in sight. The idea of living some kind of invisible life, like it's always going to be like this sense of invisibility, and not gaining any kind of traction and thinking that that's how things are going to go. And either your destiny really wanting you, like have been waiting for you, or you waiting to align with it. And so the Nine of Wands is giving like a very cautious type of energy, maybe slightly defensive at times. Uncertain about the types of actions. And so maybe there was a difficulty in that. Why is that being associated with the Page of Cups? So I don't understand that. Oh shit, there's the card. Eight of Pentacles and the Star. I just feel like work is being guided to you. Like your patience and the fact that you've stuck with something, even if it was kind of even if you're putting in applications and resume and you started to taper off, right? and like your hope for something started to diminish. Your zest, your motivation, right, started to wane. You may not have been doing as much as you could have, but you kept with it, right? I may not have done 100 applications a week. I maybe got 20, but I kept pushing through. I think that hampered, like, whatever situation, this Nine of Wands hampered your desire to actually take certain actions, or even knowing which way to take an action. Because with the Two of Wands, there's two different manners of acting on something. And there's a choice there in that, right? Like, do I do this or do I do this? And so that, I feel like that whatever the Page of Cups is, it comes in and it gives you that focus, and makes the choice a bit clear on how to act or whether to act. Like, again, if your motivation is slipping, you may be like not nearly as committed or appear less committed because you're not as, again, playing the field of possibilities. You don't believe, like, your belief in how something can unfold has been diminished to a certain degree. So the Page of Cups comes in, and it's like a new inspiration. It's like it starts directing certain energies your way, and it's like a new lease on this desire, this dream, this destiny of yours. And that indicates progression. This is, the star is that wish. There's progression on your wish. And that may lead to a new recommitment. Let's put this one up and find out which one. They want Starman Tarot. And then we'll go back to the... Well, shoot. That's what happens when you have tiny hands, okay? Like, look, I'll be stretched just trying to grab this. Trying my best to... So that's why I try to go really gently with it, and that way if something comes out... Look, Spirit. King of Pentacles. Sometimes we can receive a client that then leads to, like, the Ace of Cups, the overspillage of other clients. Like, sometimes we just need that one breakthrough, that one interview, that one thing gets the ball rolling. Four of Wands and the Clown. Hold on 1 second. Oh, Lord have mercy. It feels like you've had heartache. Hold on. Because of confusion around bringing something about, getting something started, growing something. We have this question mark. We have this new life beginning to form. Is it going to go somewhere? Is it not? You know, when it's a fetus, you don't, like, pregnancies are so elusive. Lord of mercy, where is this coming from? That it really is a miracle if something can, there's more. Oh, gosh. You guys, I don't know where this is coming from. One moment. Y'all, seriously. Out of nowhere. I'm like, I want you to know that it went away, and as soon as I turn the thing back on, it decides to come back. There's also a black cat, and I'm being brought to Bast. And I want to say there's this Egyptian figure here that might be pertinent to somebody. And Bast is definitely about the nurturing and the protection. Now, the idea is here, maybe I get the feeling of like, because the swords are down, and maybe you've had to pretend like your heart was in something still, or that the only way to make you feel like you still had, like your heart was still in it, was to back off from something. Like there's not an expectation, and I'm not gonna, you know, I have to be okay with maybe it'll never work out, right? And like the swords are down. It's almost as if not knowing the truth, or not seeing the truth, or feeling like something about that being the source of pain for you. Like maybe having to convince yourself like, oh, maybe I was just like, maybe I had some kind of like illusion around this, and this really isn't going to happen. And like, because the idea of having so much faith in something and love for something, and to feel like it, like the universe is telling you it'll never happen because of the lack of anything. You know what I mean? It's like, if it's being, it feels like being told you're Delulu for something, but by the universe. It's like, if something is so for me, why does it hurt me so much? That's what the Three of Swords is giving me. The King of Pentacles has it is the one that actually creates that life. That makes something of the potential, the Queen of Pentacles, having the capacity all within you. And the Four of Wands is that solid foundation, the reason to celebrate, that being able to build upon, right? It's a milestone. A milestone. There's a milestone in life. There's a milestone in your career, a milestone in your journey that brings about a new start. So the Page of Cups is a milestone that's going to happen, that may bring clarity or a revival to something you felt like you had no clue if it was going to pan out, and then started to believe that it wasn't, and then had to remove yourself to a certain degree. Like the swords are down, like you felt like you were lying to yourself about this. And so the only way was to kind of like just be like, okay, I guess it won't happen. Like you had to see, but that's not the truth. Ace of Swords. The truth is, this is meant for you. Look at all of these little quote unquote potentials of life. All of these baby spirits, all these fetuses that are like, this has the potential to create something. And like, these are all the opportunities, right? Because of how delicate a pregnancy is. And this, again, this is a metaphor, right? We're not talking about a real pregnancy in this situation, but because of how delicate the needs are, and the way in which everything has to just align so. Anytime you bring something into fruition, right? Think of Seven of Pentacles. The idea of planting all these seeds and not knowing what's going to pop up. Is the soil pH just right? Is it getting just enough sun? Is there something in the ground that's counteracting its growth? Was it a bad seed? Was it, you know, it's like, you don't know what's going to pop off. You don't know. And these are all the potentialities of times. And I think that's where time comes in. It's like, this is the thing. It feels like you warp through time. Like these are all the times that something didn't, that made you feel like, okay, maybe this isn't. And you had to somehow pull back a little bit, because your thoughts around the way something was panning out, like your conflict with what is true and what isn't was really hurting you, because it was so confusing. Like you were like, this isn't working out. This isn't, you know. and there was a withdrawal, which is why they're asking you to believe in the potential, believe that dreams can come true, believe to make a wish. That at this time, because the other cards were talking about the path before you is about to be smoothed out. And maybe you felt like you were lying to yourself. But what's about to transpire is to show you the truth. The Page of Cups is the seed from which something will grow. It breaks ground. Its root system is solid. It's one of the times where it was maybe the idea of the Ace of Swords being, this is true. It's true this time. Maybe in these other moments where, because these are like spirit babies here. You see what I'm saying? Where something didn't take hold. And there's a million stories and research and statistics that show that, again, using pregnancy as a metaphor, that the amount of things just aligning just right so that a pregnancy can actually develop appropriately. That there's so many women that miscarry and never even know it. Like the idea that something never took root, but this time it will. There's something about this time it will, and it will unfold so easily, just like the sun came out so quickly within a 15-minute time frame, and there was a knowing that time is shifting, seasons are shifting, and witnessing in them, like catching yourself in the moment and going, oh wait, something's happening. And then because you're so present and aware, literally being a witness to it developing and changing. And just like when it takes off, when a pregnancy does take off, suddenly finally being able to see the symptoms and the growth and the progression and the it's like you're going to witness that, and you're going to know that things have definitively changed. The season has definitively changed. And much like that sun card that I was associating with, with the sunlight, just how quickly the sun came. I was like, what? You're going to be so very aware as it's unfolding. Receiving all the help and assistance and the resources that you need. Things will balance out for you. It is your time to receive. This is your time. And again, the Ace of Cups. The love that you sow into this as a result is only going to expand this exponentially. This will overflow. We do have the Lotus, which again blooms out of mud, muck, the darkness. And these are the vines, like the Seven of Pentacles, the idea of Four of Pentacles. This really does feel like this is the time where things really set up. The reason it's able to do it now is because the roots are good. It's sturdy. It can weather what may come. The conditions are just right. Call an angel oracle. The Pegasus, and that's on conflict. Evaluate. This is a stark contrast to anything that I feel. There's not a single solitary energy within this that says I guess that's why they're asking you to turn your energy and your thoughts to the possibility, and like the unicorn, what you focus on is what you can bring about. And so it's important for you to focus on not how things have gone, but how they can go. It's an honest assessment and evaluation of the conflicts that have led you to this place. And I think that it is, I want to get a little bit more on that. Yeah, I feel like the upheaval is being in danger of, like feeling like this dream is in danger of not coming to fruition, or feeling as if you're in danger of being hurt again, because it's one of the many times that something doesn't produce from this, right? And there's this major upheaval they said, there's a major upheaval from this sense of conflict and danger with this dream to now feeling inspiration to recuperation and empathy. I think there's a change in seeing how or why things will unfolded the way that they did. It's seeing something, because the book is open here. It is getting the full story and a full understanding. You want to say anything about the Knight of Cups? Whatever this thing is that comes into the Knight of Cups. It's like you are worried about, you have been so afraid that this dream wasn't for you. That's where that Three of Swords comes from. It broke your heart. You had to kind of disengage from the dream because your desire for it was so great and your love of it was so great that the fact that it kept consistently not showing up and not producing and not evolving and not growing broke your heart. And there's a period of healing, I feel like, from, there was always like a danger of loss, feeling like it was like this like the universe was going to come up and be like, are you kidding? This is not for you. Like, you were afraid to ever come to the conclusion that this is never going to be a reality. And so you, instead of being told it, you disengaged from it to a certain degree so as to not be hurt as much. And whatever happens is almost like luring you back in. Why am I still pulling cards? It's luring you back in. It's enticing you. This change, this uptick, this movement forward, this growth. And it takes you from a place of restraint, like I said, you've had to disengage and to full-on action, into, which is the Two of Wands, which is what we had. So this let's get this shit back out the way. This Page of Cups here initiates something where it's like things begin to flow again and work begins to prosper, and your desire to act, the Two of Wands, it fixes this, your level of commitment and motivation to it. It reconciles this sense of guardedness or regarding your own destiny and your own dream. And it entices you to move forward, to continue, to progress. And it leads you to your wish fulfillment. Well, I'm going to leave it at that because I feel like that is sufficient enough And I think this is amazing. And if this happens for you, come back, let me know how this transpires. How your dream is almost renewed. And the belief in the possibilities. And how things start to change. And how you get to witness it in real time as it's changing. I would just love to hear it. All right. I hope everybody has a fantastic and wonderful day. Enjoy your week ahead. And I will see you later this week.